There are things you will know that will take divorce off your table forever. And that is why I am so excited that you're joining me on this broadcast, Enjoying Marital Bliss. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 wisdom principles to avoid divorce or relationship failure. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Judith Magoro. Now, what are the 5 wisdom principles that takes divorce off your table? Number 1, never allow resentment in your heart. Don't give it a residence in your heart. It's very important. If you allow resentment in your heart, it will gradually lead to unforgiveness. Unforgiveness is a deadly sickness to any relationship. It comes to weaken your marriage, your spiritual strength, the beauty of the marriage, the essence of the marriage, and eventually it will lead to divorce. So it's very key that you never give residency to resentment in your heart. Now, how do you ensure that would never happen? Always resolve issues quickly. Now, I'll share with you these 2 principles that allow you to resolve issues quickly. Number 1 is first, pray about it. Why? Because if you find out you're dealing with resentment in your heart, pray about it because you need strength to be healed. You need strength to forgive. So talk to God about it to help you to take away the weight of the pain or the weight of the offenses from your heart. That's very important. That's the first thing you ask God, for strength to forgive and strength to be healed. And 2, you have to ask God to send His Spirit to your spouse. It's called the Spirit of Peace. What will the Spirit of Peace do? It will go to your spouse and begin to prepare them for peace. They become hungry for peace. They become hungry to sort out any issues with you. And they become welcoming to a peaceful environment. Why is this important? If you don't do this and you go ahead to have conversation because you want to resolve issue, you may end up being hurt. Why? Your spouse is not prepared for the conversation. They may say something that will further hurt you. Instead of you to be healed, you'll be more hurt. You'll be more angry. And so if you don't want that, you first of all take care of it spiritually. Then the second step after you've taken care of this is to prepare your mind that this conversation is not about accusation. You're not going there to accuse him or to accuse her or to point fingers, but rather you want to be healed. Ensure that your priority is unity. Let it be your priority, unity. And that's the reason you're having this conversation. If unity is the reason you're having a conversation, you talk differently. It's very key. You talk differently. So you go there and talk about your heart. You go there, you talk about your struggles. I remember telling a particular woman, tell your husband that I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling to let go. I just keep feeling pain in my heart because of this that was said and because of this that was done. Rather than you're always hurting me, you don't care, you're very insensitive. Don't do it that way. Let it be that it's coming from the place of you wanting to be healed and you are struggling with it. And that's all she needed to sort that out. Unforgiveness will lead to things that you will never be able to imagine. So don't welcome it in your heart. Don't welcome it in your home. I read a story of a couple, Christian couple, that lost their daughter. 6 months prior to that loss, there was a challenge in their home. There was an argument that was heated up. And for some reason, both of them decided not to resolve it. And people will say, oh, that was Satan that brought it. I do not like to spiritualize everything. Disagreement can happen. The point of Satan coming in is when both of you decide not to resolve it. If two of you will resolve it, Satan can come in. But for this couple, they decided not to resolve it. For 6 months, they didn't say anything to each other. No conversation, no intimacy, nothing. 6 months later, their child took ill. Even at the point of that sickness, they still was not in talking terms. They would drop notes or send text messages to each other, and that was it. It took 2 weeks for Satan to take a healthy child out. 2 weeks. It was when they lost their daughter that they realized that the enemy have used them against each other. The enemy have come in with unforgiveness and weakened their spiritual strength, weakened their intimacy, weakened everything that could fight for them, and took away their child, something they can never recover from. Why? They did not deal with resentment that turned to unforgiveness, and as a result, the enemy was able to take the blessing of the marriage. So it's important that you never welcome resentment. Find a way to resolve issues before they turn to something you can't deal with. Number 2, this is very key. Do not allow the voice of a third person to constantly be in your marriage, no matter who the person is. Be wise not to let that happen. The voice, a constant voice of a third person in your home is never safe. The enemy is going to use it. It's only a matter of time. The only voice that should be in your home constantly is the voice of God. Never forget that, and don't mistake that. Now, this is not to negate the place of a marriage counselor, the place of a trained, matured voice in your house. When need be, is not every time. When need arises and you're struggling to resolve issues on your own, this does not negate that. But there should never be a constant third voice, whether it's a sister, a brother, or even parents or friends constantly talking in your home, because Satan will wait for the appointed time and he will begin to use that voice to widen your relationship. And they begin to say things that will not, they might not mean it, but somehow it will begin to, it will begin to cause havoc in your home. So don't allow the voice of a third person. Now, I also want to stress that there is nothing wrong with seeking counsel when need be. Let me give this example. About a year ago, I was talking to a couple who was at the point of divorce. They had both agreed that this is not working, we'll go our separate ways. So when they came in contact with me, I told them, usually I will have at least six sections with couples that are struggling. And the first thing I love to do is to help to set a vision. If there was no vision for that marriage, is to help to set a vision or reset a vision or refocus their vision back to what brought them together in the first place. And the vision for the future, something bigger than both of them that can make them stay in their union in order to achieve something bigger. And so on the first section, I was talking to them and trying to find out what convinced them. That was my question. I asked the man, what convinced you that this person was your wife? And then what was your best first intention towards them? As they begin to speak to each other, the man narrated what convinced him that this woman was for him. And the woman said the same thing. And they begin to talk about what brought them together, the challenges they faced. And that was all they needed. At the end of the first session, their relationship became strengthened. They saw what brought them together in the first place. and they were willing to fight for that love, that best intention, first best intention towards each other, that conviction that they had in the first place, that have weakened over time because they were not focused on it. And they told me, I don't even think we need the whole sessions. But today they are together, stronger. So there is a need for counselors where need be. There's a need for a third voice, a mature, trained, and godly third voice, but not constantly bringing friends in, bringing families in, bringing parents in. It's important that we have to be careful who is speaking in our home. That's a second wisdom principle that will help you to avoid divorce. Then number 3, never neglect intimacy. Don't, no matter what happened, never get to that point where you stop having sexual intimacy. Because intimacy with your spouse bring about healing. It connects your souls together. And when you stop that, you allow the enemy to begin to detach you. So it's sexual intimacy in marriage. It's more than just being physical. It's spiritual. It has a spirit of unity. That's the purpose of it. And so ensure that no matter what happened in marriage, that you do not allow that to go. Most of the cases, that's the first thing the enemy attacks. It brings about offense in order for you to stop that. If it succeeds in making you to stop spending intimate time together, it's only a matter of time. It will detach your soul. It will detach that union. And so never forget that. It's a principle that you must carry if you want to keep feeding your marriage, because it's a strength to that marriage. It's a spiritual strength. It's a physical strength. It's a cord of unity. And so if you don't want divorce, you should not stop or neglect your time for intimacy. It's very key. Then number 4, don't allow dishonor. Don't dishonor your spouse. Don't dishonor their feelings. It's very important. I want you to own this as an assignment. The first assignment to your spouse is to help them emotionally, is to bring emotional stability to them. That's your first assignment. This is very important. No person can be a good spouse to you when they are emotionally unstable. So one of your primary assignments to your spouse is that you bring emotional support to them. No matter what is falling apart, when they get home, they are able to receive strength from you, support from you. When you ignore their feelings, you make them to be emotionally unstable. No wife that is emotionally unstable that can be a good wife or a good mother or organizing your home. No man that is emotionally unstable that can win, that can provide, that can have ideas. So it's important that you never dishonor or ignore their emotions. I tell some men who are cheating on their spouse, I always will say, you're undoing yourself. A woman who you've made to be so emotionally unstable, how can she be a good wife? How can she help you? Because the one thing that you're supposed to be to her, you're taking it away. So don't make that mistake. I will tell you any day, anytime, I am doing what I'm doing today because I'm emotionally stable. I'm a woman that is supported by her husband and to grow. And that's the reason I can do what I'm doing today. So it's key that you become that emotional strength that your spouse requires to grow and to support you. If you don't want relationship failure, you have to keep meeting this need. It's a need to emotionally support your spouse, to be the strength they need, to give them an honor, actually support you. That will surprise you. When you honor someone, you support them emotionally. They feel valued. They feel important. And sometimes that's all they need. So this takes us to number 5. Never keep secret in marriage. No matter what happened, Never keep secret in marriage. Now, we can balance this. There are some spouses who are not mentally prepared to take some truth. That is before you got married. Some truth that they can't handle before you got married. But while you are in marriage, never keep secret. Why? Satan can use it. Don't allow anything in your marriage that Satan can use. If you keep secret and your spouse get to know it, it could lead to something that you don't want. So talk about it. The Bible said the first couple, they were both naked and they were not ashamed. When people read that, they feel it's just the physical nakedness. It's talking about transparency. They were both transparent and they were not ashamed. Talk about issues. Don't keep secret. The moment you start keeping secret, you keep keeping secret. So learn to be transparent. Why? When your spouse discovers that, it will affect your trust. You need trust in marriage. Without trust, you can't do marriage. You can't do relationship. Trust is the foundation for love. And so without trust, there is no place for love to stand on. And so it's key that you do not keep secret from each other. Learn to talk. Learn to talk about things that come up so that the enemy don't have anything that he or even people can use against your marriage. So I want to encourage you, if you're going through anything right now in your marriage, if you are keeping something from your spouse, or if you have some unhealed wound, I want to encourage you, talk about it. Follow this process. First, pray about it. Look for how to talk to him. And make sure you don't point fingers when you're talking. Follow this process. And I believe God that he will be with you and he will resolve that issues for you in Jesus' name. And I also believe God that he will take away that pain in your heart and give you the strength to heal and the strength to become that person that bring unity to that family. In the name of Jesus Christ, I pray for your marriage. It shall be well with your home. And for those who are already having a good marriage, it shall continuously be well in your home. The enemy will not be able to sow wrong seed into your marriage. Thank you so much for watching this broadcast. I want to encourage you, please partner with me. Send this message to your friends, to couples that you know, and together we will strengthen families around the world and we will help to build healthy marriages. We will create an environment for children in that home to grow and have a solid foundation in their lives. Thank you for watching once again, and God bless you. Bye-bye.